Due to the fact that Walt Disney and many other entertainment companies in the West are completely incapable of providing entertainment for me, I have to get my own entertainment from the internet. Watching how Westerners talk to each other is definitely entertaining, and best of all, I don't have to pay money in order to see it. So today I got this in the mail, and I don't understand like how exactly do they select which questions you get, especially since this one seems to be 4 years old, but people are replying to it since 4 days ago, so makes no sense. But the question is, I caught my son playing his Xbox in the middle of the night, and it was a school night, so as a result, I broke his console, and now he won't talk to me. How can I tell him that it is his own fault? Right, so when I read something like this to me sounds like it's from an actual concerned parent, like someone who genuinely wants to parent their child. Is not the harmful and abusive type of parenting where you give them a crack pipe and an Xbox and allow the kid to do whatever he wants. And I do think that this is a huge problem with parenting in the modern world. And while everyone understands that the drunk parent who beats his children constantly for whatever reason is abusive, there is another type of abuse which is at the opposite end of the scale, where the parent doesn't care at all about his child's education, and in fact they demand that corporation educate their child for them. It's like, oh my god, well, social media is to have more terms of service because little Billy can see something harmful and reproduce it in real life. Oh no, Xbox should monitor what children speak while playing video games because they may say something naughty and I'm not a good parent and I'm not there in order to make sure that he doesn't behave, right? This is also an abusive type of parent. And from what I can gather, this individual doesn't seem to fit in either of these categories. He's somewhere in the middle where most parents should be. So he is concerned that, well, his child doesn't have the discipline required in order not to play Xbox in the middle of the night when he's got school in the morning. Perfectly reasonable, right? So let's look at what the intelligentsia of the internet has to say about this. This is from 7 hours ago. Grown adults don't smash stuff to prove points. Oh, you must not be an American then. Have you missed the 2020 riots? Did you not see what they did to the statues? Do you not travel to a university campus that's liberal leaning, which is all of them? Grown adults, especially in the United States, do smash stuff in order to prove points. All the time. This is not an argument. Then you also have this one, which I find it very interesting. I'm going to try to answer this question using strict logic. You broke his console because you caught him playing on it when he should have been asleep, so as to ensure that he has the sufficient energy to perform correctly in his school. It is highly illogical to destroy something that you purchased for another individual simply because you are angry with your disobedient child. It is logical to punish your child in order to ensure that he does not disobey you in the future, however. Destroying an expensive asset was not the correct procedure to execute. You could have calmed down and thought about it logically. If your son is disobeying you, then you should take away his Xbox and put it in a secure area away from your child's grasp. Destroying an expensive asset is illogical and in no way good to show your son right from wrong. But lastly, the idea that your son is in a way at fault for your actions, destroying the console, is absolutely illogical and dishonest. It is illogical because it only says to your son that you are prone to react violently to challenges regarding your authority. Lastly, it is dishonest because he did not break his Xbox, you did. There is absolutely no debate regarding the matter. The individual who intentionally breaks the Xbox is by definition responsible for destroying the Xbox. Okay, so first of all, parents aren't Vulcans, and I genuinely do not wish to have a Vulcan parent if I could go back in time when I was a kid. Emotions and feelings are very important when parenting, and we do not know what is happening in this person's household. This could probably be the 50th time that he caught his kid playing during the middle of the night, and the parent just lost his shit. But notice how you say it's violent, which, okay, fine, but it's violence directed towards an object. Like, it doesn't say that he whipped up his belt and started slapping the kid, right? So, like, it's not that type of parent. It is difficult to make an assessment whether or not breaking the Xbox is reasonable in this situation, because, again, maybe he actually did do what you said. You know, the first time he caught him playing on the Xbox, he put it away, and then the next day he was yet again playing during the middle of the night. So it is possible. What I do think is that problem, and I do believe that this requires some parenting, is that the child has a video game addiction. It's okay to play video games. It's not okay to be addicted by them. Now, being a person who has been addicted to video games myself, and having had friends who have been addicted to video games, I can tell you honestly that most of the time, video game addiction is a symptom to a much larger problem. There is something happening in the real life of that person that makes him want to seclude himself and become a shut-in. I do not know what that problem is. It could be something that's happening in the household. Maybe the parents are arguing all the time. Maybe you don't get along well with your children. It could be something that's happening at school. Maybe he's getting bullied. Maybe he's just not able to fit in. It could be something with his friends group. It could be that the child does not find anything fulfilling in life. This also happens when the parents usually try to direct the child towards a certain profession that the child himself may not want. You know, like mommy and daddy are painters and they want little Billy to become a painter as well, but he likes mathematics. I do not know what the reason is, but in order to fix video game addiction, you have to make life more meaningful and more interesting for that person so that they do not choose to become shut-ins. And that's where you need to start. You need to identify where the problem is. Secondly, it would also help if you start playing video games with your kid. Right? Just because he has an addiction, that doesn't mean that he should not play it at all. It just means that he should play it at regular intervals that do not affect his social life. And a good way to do that is for you to understand video games, for you to start playing video games with your kid, see what it's all about, and then you can actually have a connection. You can actually have a place where you have some common ground, and it's more likely that the kid will listen to you. If you watch some of the old American movies, when the father usually talks with the son, the thing he does is like, okay, let's go play baseball or something. And the father throws the ball, you know, they're playing a little bit, and then they start talking about the real life issues. Kids these days do not play baseball anymore, much to the dismay of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. They play video games. And as such, parents need to learn a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit about video games. You know, you don't need to know how to play baseball in order to throw a ball and catch it so that you can have a conversation with your son. So this is where you could start. Regarding the punishment itself, again, I do not know what happened previously. Like, if this is the first time that you caught him playing video games in the middle of the night and you decided to break the Xbox, yeah, a little bit overboard. However, if it happens several times and you're just fed up with it and it's like, okay, well, this Xbox is preventing him from continuing his studies, then it's a good thing. And I gotta say, a lot of the punishments we get as kids, they help us a lot. Because take it into consideration that when you're at high school and you're late for school, there's no permanent consequences. I mean, sure, you know, you can get a bad mark. Maybe the teacher gets a little bit upset with you. But now imagine if you're an actual place of work and you're constantly being late in the morning. Well, you can get fired. You can lose your job. There can be permanent consequences for that. So learning how to be on time and learning how to manage your sleep schedule is actually something very important and crucial for a person's well behavior and functioning in society. So hopefully I did give good advice. Am I good at this shit? I don't know. I don't have a license. I noticed that the psychologists are upset that the AI doesn't have a license and they give advice. So will they be upset at me? Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.